Money should work for you, not against you. Most people never learn that truth. They work harder, earn more, and still feel stuck. The problem isn't effort, it's control. You can't build peace when your money controls your choices. You have to learn how to take charge of it, guide it, and make it serve your goals. The secret of cash flow mastery, turn money into your servant, isn't about chasing wealth. It's about creating freedom. It's about knowing exactly where your money goes, how it grows, and how it can give you time, confidence, and direction. This isn't theory, it's real life. You'll learn how to stop worrying about bills, how to make money move automatically toward your dreams, and how to finally feel in control again. Because when you master your cash flow, life stops feeling heavy and starts feeling like it's truly yours. Chapter 1. Learn how to make money flow without constant struggle. Money is not meant to be chased. It is meant to flow quietly, steadily, and under your direction. The moment you stop running after it and start understanding it, life begins to change. Most people live their whole lives trying to make ends meet, working harder and longer, yet never feeling in control. The truth is, it is not the amount of money that decides how free you are. It is how you handle what already comes to you. Cash flow mastery begins not with your wallet, but with your thinking. You see, every dollar has a purpose. Every bit of income you receive is energy. It moves, it responds, it follows attention. When you treat money with respect, it stays. When you treat it with panic, it disappears. The secret is to stop working only for money and start making money work for you. That starts by building order, awareness, and self-control. You cannot master money until you master your own habits. The first step is awareness. Sit down and truly look at how money moves in your life. Not just your income, but your decisions. Where does your money go the moment it arrives? Who gets paid first, you or everyone else? Do you even know where it flows, or do you just hope that it lasts until the end of the month? Awareness is the foundation of mastery. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Most people avoid this because it makes them uncomfortable. But progress starts when you face the truth with courage. Once you know how your money moves, the next step is clarity. Decide what you truly want money to do for you. Too many people never ask themselves that question. They think they just need more. But more of what? More income without discipline just brings more confusion. More spending without purpose just brings more regret. Clarity means knowing why you earn. Do you want peace of mind? Security for your family? Freedom from stress? Those are not numbers. Those are feelings, and they are what you must design your financial flow around. Now comes structure. If you want money to flow, you need a system that makes it move automatically in the right direction. Money is like water. It leaks if there are no boundaries. You can't just rely on willpower. You must create a simple structure that guides your money the moment it arrives. Pay yourself first, before anyone else. This is not a slogan, it is a law. Even if it's a small amount, take it out and make it sacred. That act tells your mind that you are in charge. The next principle is consistency. You do not need huge leaps. You need small daily control. Saving $50 a week can change more than earning $5,000 once. Because consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Every time you follow through on your plan, you reinforce a belief. I control my money. That belief slowly replaces the old pattern of fear and confusion. And with that, money begins to flow toward you naturally. Now, let's talk about the struggle, the endless cycle of work, pay, spend, repeat. That is where most people live. They believe the answer is more work, but that only deepens the trap. The goal is not to work harder, it's to work wiser. You must understand your value. Money doesn't just come from effort, it comes from value exchanged. When you increase your skills, your understanding, and your ability to solve problems, you increase the value you bring to the marketplace. Money is the reward for contribution, but that reward only grows when you grow. To make money flow without struggle, you must separate emotion from management. Money does not care about your feelings, it responds to your habits. When you're stressed, you make emotional decisions that break the flow. You buy to feel better, or you avoid checking your balances because it's uncomfortable. True control begins when you face your finances calmly, no matter the situation. That emotional control is a quiet superpower. It allows you to see patterns, fix leaks, and plan ahead while others panic. Another important truth: cash flow mastery is not about restriction, it's about freedom. People hear budget and think of limitation. But a budget is not a cage, it's a map. It tells you where you are and where you can go. It frees you from confusion and guilt. When you assign every dollar a purpose, you gain control. When you spend with intention, even a small income can bring peace. Because mastery is never about having more, it's about using what you have with wisdom. Let's get practical. Imagine your monthly income as a stream. That stream can flow into different paths: needs, wants, savings, growth, and giving. If you do not guide it, it floods one area and dries out others. You must become the engineer of that flow. Set clear percentages. For example, 50% for essentials, 20% for savings, 20% for investments or learning, and 10% for giving or fun. Adjust the numbers, but never the structure. Once this pattern runs automatically, you no longer chase money. It begins to move on its own rhythm, serving your goals instead of your fears. Remember, the struggle with money often hides a deeper struggle with discipline, patience, or self-worth. Many people overspend because they want to feel valuable or because they believe comfort must be bought. But comfort built on debt becomes a cage. Real comfort comes from control. There is nothing more relaxing than knowing your bills are paid, your savings are growing, and your future is protected. That calm cannot be purchased, it must be built. There's also a mindset shift that changes everything. Stop saying, "I can't afford it." Instead, ask, "How can I afford it?" That question triggers creativity instead of helplessness. When you ask how, your brain starts finding ways. You look for new skills to learn, new opportunities to serve, or new ways to save. Every financial breakthrough starts with that small change in language. Words direct thought, and thought directs action. Cash flow mastery is also about understanding time. Money is not just numbers, it is time in disguise. Every dollar you waste steals a bit of your future freedom. Every dollar you save or invest buys you more time to live on your terms. That is the real purpose of mastering money, to free your time. Because time, not money, is your true wealth. When money works for you, you get your life back. You can think clearly, spend time with your loved ones, and create things that matter. Now, do not mistake this mastery for perfection. You will make mistakes. You might overspend, miss a payment, or lose focus. That's part of growth. The key is to learn quickly, adjust, and move on. Never let guilt drain your energy. Guilt is a trap. Awareness is a tool. Use each mistake as a lesson. Ask, "What can I do differently next time?" Every time you answer that question honestly, you grow stronger. Another essential part of this journey is gratitude. When you appreciate what you have, you shift from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude quiets the urge to compare and overspend. It reminds you that wealth is not just money, it's peace, relationships, health, and freedom. A grateful mind handles money better because it is not ruled by fear. When you feel enough, you make smarter choices. Finally, understand this. Money will never give you identity or happiness. It will only amplify who you already are. If you are responsible, it gives you power. If you are careless, it magnifies chaos. The secret is not money, it's mastery over yourself. When you develop that mastery, the struggle ends. You stop reacting and start directing. You begin to trust yourself, your process, and your purpose. Cash flow mastery is not a one-time project, it's a way of living. It's the daily practice of clarity, structure, and calm. It's knowing exactly where your money goes and why. It's replacing fear with confidence and confusion with control. When you live this way, money becomes your servant, not your master. It flows in, flows out, and flows back, because you've built the habits, mindset, and discipline to make it so. The world doesn't need more people chasing money, it needs more people who understand it. People who can build peace, stability, and purpose through financial control. When you become that person, you inspire others. You show them that wealth is not luck, it's skill. It's awareness turned into action. It's calm turned into power. That is the secret of cash flow mastery. Stop chasing, start managing, start leading. Build systems that make money move for you. Make clear decisions that bring you peace. Live with awareness, discipline, and gratitude. Because when you do, money stops being a struggle and starts being a faithful servant that works every day to support the life you were meant to live. Chapter 2. Build a system where your income works even when you rest. Building a system where your income works even when you rest is one of the greatest breakthroughs a person can experience. It changes the way you see work, money, and time. It takes you from chasing income to creating flow. Most people are taught to work for every dollar they earn. They trade hours for paychecks and think that's how life must be. But there comes a point when you realize that time is your most valuable resource, and you can't keep exchanging it forever. True financial freedom begins when your money keeps moving even while you sleep, rest, or spend time with the people you love. That's when you stop surviving and start living. To make income work for you, you must first understand the difference between effort-based income and system-based income. Effort-based income depends on your direct work. You stop working, you stop earning. System-based income, however, is designed once and continues to produce results over time. The system could be investments, digital products, small businesses, or skill-based services that run on structure instead of endless effort. The key isn't magic or luck, it's strategy. It's about replacing the idea of work harder with build smarter. The process begins with clarity. You must decide how you want your money to work. There are many ways to create automated income streams, but without clear intention, you end up distracted by shiny opportunities that waste time. Ask yourself what matches your personality, skills, and lifestyle. If you love teaching, you can create online courses or coaching programs that bring income while you sleep. If you're good with money, you can build investment systems that generate steady returns. The point is not to copy what others do, it's to build something aligned with who you are. Before you can build a system, you must understand your current financial flow. How does money come in? How does it go out? What part of your income is reliable, and what part disappears to unnecessary expenses? A system is built on structure, and structure begins with awareness. Write down all your income sources and categorize them as active or passive. Active income is what you earn through your work. Passive income is what flows without your direct effort. Most people start with only active income, but that's okay. The goal is to use part of that active income to slowly build passive systems. The next stage is automation. Automation means creating a process that moves your money to the right places without requiring constant decisions. For example, when your paycheck arrives, your system should automatically direct a percentage into savings, investments, or a separate account for future projects. This removes emotional decisions that often lead to overspending. Automation makes wealth building consistent. It's not about having more, it's about managing what you already have with precision. Once you build automation, you move toward multiplication. Multiplication is where your money starts generating more income. This is where you invest in things that work while you rest, dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, or digital assets that bring recurring revenue. The principle is simple. Don't just spend money, assign it to work. Every dollar should have a job. Some dollars will pay your bills, others will protect your future, and others will multiply themselves. When you think this way, you stop seeing money as something you chase and start seeing it as something you direct. Building an income system also means managing your energy wisely. Too many people burn themselves out trying to build multiple income streams at once. That's not mastery, that's chaos. You don't need 10 different streams, you need one well-structured stream that runs smoothly. Once that works, you can expand. The right approach is focus, not frenzy. Choose one system to perfect before adding another. Consistency beats intensity every time. A key part of building income systems is learning to delegate. No one achieves sustainable freedom alone. You need people who can handle tasks, manage operations, and maintain efficiency. Whether it's hiring a virtual assistant, using software tools, or outsourcing technical work, delegation gives you leverage. Every task you delegate correctly frees time to think, plan, and grow. Remember, mastery is not about doing everything, it's about creating structure that runs without your constant presence. There's also an emotional side to this. Many people unconsciously resist building automated systems because they feel safer when they're doing. They equate busyness with productivity. But working non-stop is not strength, it's a symptom of fear. It's fear of losing control, fear of slowing down, fear that without effort, everything will collapse. The truth is, when you build a system properly, it doesn't collapse, it compounds. You have to learn to trust your structure more than your sweat. The shift from effort to system is emotional as much as financial. Now, let's talk about habits. You can't have a system that works while you rest if your habits work against it. Daily habits must support stability. That means checking your accounts regularly, reviewing your goals weekly, and adjusting monthly. A system doesn't mean neglect, it means guided attention. You don't have to micromanage it, but you must monitor it. Think of it like a garden. Once you plant the seeds and install an irrigation system, you don't stand there all day watching it grow. But you still check in to make sure the system is running, the soil is healthy, and the plants are thriving. Discipline sustains automation. Education plays a big role too. To make your money work, you need to understand where to put it. Most people spend years learning how to earn money, but never learn how to keep or grow it. Study personal finance, investing, or entrepreneurship. Read books, listen to people who have built stable income systems, and learn from their mistakes. Financial education gives you power. The more you understand money, the more you realize it behaves predictably when you apply the right principles. Another mindset shift you must make is to stop seeing income as something external. You are the source. The job, business, or investment is just the channel. When you realize that, you take full ownership. You don't wait for opportunities, you create them. You don't depend on luck, you depend on systems. This is where confidence comes, from the awareness that you control the flow. To make this practical, start by dividing your income into 3 categories: survival, security, and freedom. The survival portion covers your essential living expenses, food, rent, transportation. The security portion builds your savings and investments. The freedom portion goes into opportunities that can grow your income while you rest, like creating an online product, starting a small automated business, or investing in long-term assets. By doing this, every dollar you earn has direction and purpose. Technology today gives you more tools than ever to create automated income systems. You can use online platforms for selling products, investing apps for building portfolios, and scheduling tools for managing clients or payments automatically. The goal is not to make life more complicated, but to simplify it. Use technology to replace repetition. Anything you do more than twice should be automated, delegated, or improved. Another powerful step is to document your system. Write down how money moves, where it goes, and how it grows. When you can see it clearly on paper, you understand it better. Documentation gives you clarity, and clarity gives you confidence. If someone else looked at your notes, they should be able to understand how your money flows even without your presence. That's the true test of a system. It works whether you're there or not. You must also understand timing. Building a system doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience. Many people quit too early because they don't see results fast enough. But systems grow quietly before they grow visibly. The first months may feel slow, but as consistency compounds, everything changes. One day, you realize you earned money while spending time with family or taking a day off. That moment changes your entire relationship with work. Building an income system that works while you rest doesn't mean you stop working. It means you stop depending on work alone. You still use your skills, creativity, and drive, but you direct them toward building assets, not just paychecks. You start thinking long-term. You realize that a small effort invested today can save hundreds of hours later. That mindset separates those who struggle forever from those who eventually live with peace and abundance. There's also power in building something that outlives your daily effort. When your money system is stable, you have space to grow personally. You can focus on learning new skills, spending time with loved ones, or serving others. You're no longer enslaved by bills or deadlines. You become free to live intentionally. Freedom is not the absence of work, it's the presence of choice. And building a system that works while you rest gives you that choice. Now, remember this truth. Wealth is not built by chance, it's built by design. Every person who achieves financial freedom follows the same basic pattern: awareness, system, consistency, and patience. They stop wasting time on distractions and start building processes that move their money automatically. The world may change, jobs may shift, but systems stay strong. That's why you must build one. Because when your system runs, your life expands. When your income works even while you rest, you begin to feel a new kind of peace. You wake up without pressure. You plan your day around purpose, not panic. You no longer wonder how you'll make it through the month. You already know. The system is running. It's supporting you quietly, faithfully, and predictably. That peace is worth more than any luxury because it gives you time to think, create, and grow. This is the secret most people never learn. The real goal is not to earn more money, it's to earn more freedom. Freedom to think, to create, to rest without guilt. When your income keeps flowing while you rest, you finally experience what true wealth feels like: control, calm, and choice. And when you reach that point, you understand that success was never about chasing more, it was about building smarter. Chapter 3. Transform your paycheck into steady growth every month. Transforming your paycheck into steady growth every month begins with one simple idea. Stop seeing your paycheck as something to survive on, and start seeing it as something to multiply. Most people view payday as the finish line, a relief that keeps them going until the next one. But those who build wealth see payday as the starting point of a process. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do the moment that money arrives. The way you handle your paycheck decides whether you'll always depend on it, or eventually rise above it. The first key is structure. Without structure, money disappears. The moment it hits your account, emotions take over. You start spending on convenience, on comfort, on things that make you feel rewarded after working hard. But discipline beats impulse every time. The goal is not to restrict joy, it's to direct it. When your paycheck comes in, divide it instantly into categories that serve your future, not your momentary mood. That means deciding what percentage goes to savings, what goes to investments, what covers bills, and what's left for spending. Every dollar must have a job. When money flows with purpose, it grows. The next key is automation. The most powerful financial systems run without constant decision-making. The human mind tires easily. Even strong-willed people break down after enough small choices. Automating your financial flow removes temptation. Set up automatic transfers so that a portion of your paycheck moves directly into savings or investments the same day it's deposited. Treat it like a non-negotiable expense, something that must happen before any other payment. This small decision creates momentum that doesn't depend on motivation. Over time it becomes a habit that runs quietly in the background, building your future while you live your life. Once automation is in place, your next step is growth. Growth doesn't mean chasing quick returns, it means building consistency. Find ways to make your paycheck create more income. Maybe you invest a small part into index funds, or a side project that brings long-term rewards. Maybe you start learning a skill that will make your next raise possible. Growth is not about taking risks you don't understand, it's about planting seeds that expand your financial strength. Little by little, each month as your paycheck comes in, assign a portion to growth opportunities, not just safety nets. Savings protect you, but investments move you forward. Now let's talk about mindset. You must break the cycle of living only for bills. When every paycheck is spent before it arrives, it's a sign that your habits have taken control of your freedom. You can't grow what you instantly consume. The key is to create a delay between earning and spending. Build a small cushion so that you're always operating 1 month ahead, not behind. This shift gives you breathing room. It allows you to make smarter decisions because you're not trapped by urgency. When you control time, you control your finances. That's how steady growth begins, through patience and planning. Transforming your paycheck into growth also means redefining what income really means. Income is not just the number on your paycheck, it's the potential inside your habits. If you waste it, it stays static. If you direct it, it multiplies. Every paycheck carries power. It's not meant to end the month. It's meant to start a new one stronger. The people who grow their money think long-term. They don't ask, how can I spend this? They ask, how can this paycheck make me wealthier by next month? That one question can reshape your entire relationship with money. Your paycheck should never control your emotions. Many people rise and fall emotionally based on when they get paid. They feel excitement for 2 days and stress for the next 28. That's not living. That's surviving. The secret is stability. When you design a plan that automatically channels your income into growth, peace replaces anxiety. You no longer wait for payday with fear or excitement. It becomes routine, predictable, stable. And when your money becomes stable, your mind follows. Emotional control is a form of wealth too, and it starts with structure. You must also learn to protect your growing paycheck. Growth doesn't mean earning more, it means keeping more. The small leaks destroy the biggest income. Unnecessary subscriptions, impulse purchases, or mindless spending eat away at your progress. Review your spending regularly. Ask yourself if each expense supports your future, or just fills a momentary gap. When you cut what doesn't serve you, your paycheck becomes more powerful without needing to increase. Growth often starts not by making more, but by keeping more. Another key is learning to pay yourself properly. Most people pay everyone else first. The landlord, the credit card company, the store, the restaurant. By the time they think of saving, nothing's left. Paying yourself first means you respect your own work. It means you believe in your future enough to prioritize it. Even if it's 10%, take it and set it aside before you pay anyone else. That simple act builds self-respect. It reminds you that your financial journey is not about serving bills, it's about building security. Now, to turn your paycheck into real growth, you must learn how to track progress. Growth is invisible without measurement. Create a simple system to record how much you earn, save and invest each month. You don't need complicated software, just awareness. Watching your progress in numbers builds momentum. It turns discipline into motivation. You begin to enjoy seeing improvement. It's no longer about how much you make, it's about how far you've come. Growth becomes tangible when you track it. Another essential part of transforming your paycheck is education. Money grows in the hands of the informed. Learn where to put your money, so that it works smarter than you do. Read about basic investing, compounding, and financial planning. Knowledge pays the highest interest. You don't need to be a financial expert. You just need to understand enough to make decisions with confidence. When you know what to do, you stop fearing mistakes and start building results. One of the greatest psychological barriers to growth is instant gratification. Most people feel the need to reward themselves after every paycheck. While small rewards are fine, they should never outweigh your goals. Real satisfaction comes not from spending, but from watching your financial confidence grow. When you start to see your money multiply, you feel something stronger than excitement. You feel control. That sense of control changes how you live. You become calmer, more focused, more driven. You stop reacting to money and start commanding it. Let's talk about consistency. You cannot transform a paycheck with random efforts. You must commit to doing the same right things every month. Save the same percentage, invest regularly, and review your progress often. This routine may seem slow, but it's powerful. Growth built on repetition becomes unstoppable. The small actions you take monthly will quietly turn into large results over time. People often underestimate what steady action can do in a few years. The truth is, steady growth beats occasional leaps every single time. It's also important to upgrade your income strategy as your life grows. Don't let your paycheck remain static while your goals expand. Look for ways to increase your value at work, take on new responsibilities, or learn high-demand skills that command higher pay. The best way to make your paycheck grow is to make yourself more valuable. Employers and markets reward those who grow their ability to contribute. You can't control the economy, but you can control your personal development. When you grow, your paycheck follows. At the same time, don't depend solely on one paycheck forever. Use part of your income to create new streams, investments, side ventures, or skills that can generate income independently. Your main paycheck is the engine that funds these opportunities. Over time, those smaller streams can grow into steady flows that reduce your dependence on a single source. Financial security comes not from one large income,
but from multiple stable ones that work together. There's also a deeper emotional side to this transformation. Many people carry guilt or fear when it comes to money. They feel unworthy of wealth or afraid of losing what they earn. To grow financially, you must heal your relationship with money. Understand that money is neutral. It simply follows your direction. It's not something to fear or worship. It's a tool. When you treat it with calm respect, it serves you. When you act from panic or greed, it slips away. Building a healthy relationship with money makes growth natural. As your paycheck starts to grow and stabilize, remember to keep your lifestyle grounded. Lifestyle inflation is one of the biggest traps. The moment income increases, spending follows. The secret is to grow your savings faster than your lifestyle. If your paycheck grows by 10%, let your savings grow by 15%. This way, you enjoy progress without losing direction. Growth that feeds comfort is temporary. Growth that feeds purpose is lasting. Over time, as you practice these principles, something powerful happens. You stop seeing your paycheck as your lifeline. It becomes a tool, a vehicle, a resource you command. Each month you feel stronger, more organized, more free. The fear of running out fades, replaced by the calm of preparation. That feeling of security is priceless. It doesn't come from having millions. It comes from knowing you're in control of what you earn. The real transformation happens when you start seeing money as movement, not story. It's not meant to sit, it's meant to grow. When your paycheck arrives, it should immediately begin its journey. Part to savings, part to growth, part to freedom. The faster you put it to work, the faster it returns with more. You no longer wait for money to save you. You use it to build yourself. This journey is not about perfection. Some months will go off track. Life will bring unexpected expenses. What matters is not never failing, but always returning to the plan. Every time you realign your actions, you strengthen your financial foundation. Over time, your paycheck becomes a system, not a struggle. And as that system expands, you begin to experience something most people never feel. Peace built on progress. That's the power of transforming your paycheck into steady growth. It's not a miracle. It's a mindset. It's about treating every dollar as an opportunity. It's about building habits that last longer than motivation. It's about using your paycheck, not just to survive another month, but to build a better one. When you live this way, money stops controlling you. You become the master of your income, your time and your future. That's real freedom. The kind that grows quietly, consistently, and confidently, month after month.
Chapter 4. Build simple routines that keep your money under control. Most people lose control of their money, not because they don't earn enough, but because they lack simple routines that keep it organized. Control doesn't come from big income, it comes from small habits practiced daily. The truth is, money becomes chaotic only when life is chaotic. If you want your finances to stay steady, your routines must stay steady. A controlled financial life is built on discipline, not luck. It's built on systems so simple that you can do them without pressure, without overthinking, and without fear. When you wake up each day, you already have routines. You brush your teeth, drink your coffee, go to work. These are unconscious habits that keep your life running. Your money deserves the same consistency. Most people only think about money when they have a problem with it. They react instead of prepare. The goal is to create small, repeatable steps that make managing money as normal as breathing. The simpler you make the process, the stronger you become. The first routine to build is a morning or weekly money check-in. This doesn't mean sitting for hours with spreadsheets. It can be as simple as opening your banking app for 3 minutes, reviewing your balance, and checking what went out. This quick glance builds awareness. You start to see your financial reality instead of guessing it. It prevents surprises and gives you a sense of control. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. The person who checks their numbers regularly makes better decisions automatically. Another routine is your spending review. Set one day each week to look at what you spent, not to judge yourself, but to stay conscious. When you track your spending, you start noticing patterns. You see where money leaks away on small, unnoticed things. Those little leaks become huge over time. Awareness is what stops them. You might realize that your daily coffee costs you a vacation every year, or that small impulse buys add up to what could have been savings. Tracking gives you power. You don't need to punish yourself, just pay attention. The next essential routine is the monthly plan. At the start of each month, decide where every dollar will go before it arrives. This doesn't mean living rigidly, it means living intentionally. Without a plan, money will always find somewhere to go, and it usually isn't where you want it. You don't need fancy tools or financial degrees, just write it down. How much will go to bills, savings, investments, and personal spending? Make it clear. Clarity removes chaos. When you give money direction, it obeys you. Create a second routine for saving. Each month or every paycheck, set a rule that a fixed amount automatically moves to savings. The magic is in consistency, not size. Even a small amount saved regularly becomes powerful over time. The habit is what builds wealth, not the number. It's not about how much you save, it's about how often. Every time you transfer money into savings, you train your mind to think long-term. That's how control becomes natural. You should also build a routine for reflection. Once a month, sit down quietly and ask yourself a few questions. Did I follow my plan? Where did I slip? What can I improve next month? This small reflection prevents mistakes from repeating. Most people avoid thinking about money because it makes them anxious, but avoiding the truth never brings peace. Facing it builds strength. Reflection is not about guilt, it's about progress. When you know what went wrong, you can fix it. When you see what went right, you can repeat it. Now let's talk about emotional routine. Money is not just numbers, it's deeply emotional. Your feelings about money shape your habits more than your logic. That's why you need a mental routine to stay calm, especially when things get tight. When you feel financial stress, pause, take a few minutes to breathe, and remind yourself that control is built through patience, not panic. Every time you stay calm instead of reacting, you grow stronger. Emotional control is the secret ingredient behind financial control. Another vital routine is to schedule a money reset day each month. On this day, review your accounts, cancel unnecessary subscriptions, and make sure everything is organized. Clean up your financial space the same way you clean your home. Delete old bills, organize receipts, update passwords, and check upcoming payments. This clears clutter and keeps your financial life fresh. A clean environment helps you think clearly. When you take care of your money space, it rewards you with peace. Build a habit of reviewing your goals regularly. Financial control isn't about just managing today, it's about preparing for tomorrow. Every month, remind yourself why you're saving, why you're budgeting, and what you're working toward. It could be freedom from debt, starting a business, or retiring early. When your goals stay in focus, your habits stay alive. People lose control when they forget their purpose. Purpose keeps your routine from becoming boring.
It gives it meaning. Another small but powerful routine is the 24-hour rule. When you want to make a non-essential purchase, wait one full day before buying. Most impulses fade in that time. This simple delay keeps your money in your control. It's not about denying yourself, it's about learning to choose with clarity, not emotion. The 24-hour rule saves more money than most budgets ever do, because it stops you from spending on things that don't matter. You also need a gratitude routine. At the end of the week, take a few minutes to appreciate what you already have. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. When you feel thankful, you stop chasing things you don't need. It calms your spending urges and increases your satisfaction. Gratitude keeps your financial journey joyful instead of stressful. Control without joy leads to burnout. Gratitude keeps you balanced. A financial growth routine is another key. Every week, spend a short time learning something new about money. How to invest, how to manage taxes, or how to improve your credit. Continuous learning expands your control. The more you understand money, the less it surprises you. Even 10 minutes of learning a day compounds into wisdom over time. Knowledge is control in its purest form. Another useful habit is automation reviews. Every few months, review all the automated payments or transfers you've set up. Make sure they still serve your goal. Cancel anything unnecessary and adjust where needed. Automation makes life easy, but if ignored, it can lead to waste. Controlled automation is a sign of maturity. You trust systems, but stay aware. Your routines must also include preparation for unexpected moments. Create a plan for emergency. Set aside a small emergency fund that you never touch unless absolutely necessary. Knowing that you have a backup gives you emotional stability. Emergencies no longer create panic because you've already prepared for them. Control means being ready, not lucky. At the end of every quarter, reward yourself for your discipline. Control doesn't mean punishment. When you stick to your routines, celebrate progress. Maybe go out for dinner, take a small trip, or buy something meaningful. Rewards reinforce good behavior. They remind you that financial control is not about restriction. It's about freedom. A reward feels different when it's earned through discipline. It feels pure and guilt-free. To make routines last, you must keep them simple. Complexity kills consistency. If your system feels heavy, you won't stick to it. Focus on 3 to 5 small habits you can repeat easily. Review, plan, save, reflect, and learn. That's all it takes. Mastery doesn't come from doing 100 things. It comes from doing a few things well, over and over again. Also, share your routines with someone you trust. A friend, partner, or mentor. Accountability multiplies results. When someone else knows your goals, you stay committed. You can discuss progress, exchange tips, and support each other during setbacks. Money is personal, but it doesn't have to be private. Sharing your journey builds discipline through connection. Your physical environment affects your money habits too. Keep your workspace, wallet, and financial documents organized. Clutter in your surroundings creates confusion in your mind. When you open your wallet or check your desk, you should feel calm, not chaos. Physical order supports mental order. When your environment is clean, your decisions improve. Control also comes from saying no. Build the habit of declining what doesn't align with your priority. Not every invitation, sale, or trend deserves your money. Learning to say no gracefully keeps you in power. It shows that you decide where your money goes, not society or advertising. Every no to distraction is a yes to your future. As you continue these routines, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. That trust creates freedom. You no longer avoid checking your bank account. You feel confident doing it. You no longer feel anxious when bills arrive. You're ready. You no longer depend on luck. You depend on discipline. That peace of mind is what financial control really means. Over time, these simple routines compound into massive results. Your savings grow. Your stress drops. Your decision-making improves. People might wonder how you manage to stay calm while others panic over money. The answer is that you have built a rhythm. You've turned chaos into order through small, consistent action. Every routine reinforces your belief that you are in charge. In the end, building routines that keep your money under control is about designing a stable, peaceful life. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's not about chasing more. It's about managing what you already have wisely. Every time you stick to your routines, you strengthen your foundation. The result isn't just more money, it's more freedom, confidence, and clarity. When your money is under control, your life follows. You think clearer, sleep better, and walk taller, because you know you are no longer living in reaction. You are living in direction. That's what real control feels like, and it starts with something as simple as your daily routine.
Chapter 5. Teach your mind to manage money with calm and control. Your relationship with money begins in your mind long before it shows up in your bank account. Every decision you make, every purchase, every reaction to financial stress, it all starts as a thought. To manage money with calm and control, you must train your mind to think clearly about it. Money is not emotional, but people are. Most financial chaos doesn't come from numbers, it comes from thoughts driven by fear, insecurity, or impulse. When your mind becomes steady, your finances follow. The goal is not to remove emotion from money, but to guide it with awareness. Your first lesson in calm financial thinking is acceptance. Accept where you are without shame or panic. Too many people carry guilt about their financial past. They replay mistakes, bad purchases, or missed opportunities, and that emotional weight clouds their thinking. You cannot move forward if you keep punishing yourself for the past. What's done is done. Accept it as a lesson, not a life sentence. Acceptance clears mental noise and allows space for clarity. The moment you forgive yourself for past financial errors, you free your energy to make better choices. Once you've accepted your present situation, the next step is awareness. Most people live with financial anxiety because they never look directly at their numbers. They avoid checking their balances or bills because they're afraid of what they'll see. Avoidance is the enemy of calm. You can't control what you won't face. Begin by becoming aware of your financial reality. Write it down. List your income, expenses, debts, and goals. The act of putting everything on paper transforms vague fear into manageable facts. Facts are neutral, emotions are not. Awareness turns chaos into clarity. Now understand that calm management starts with detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about money. It means money doesn't control how you feel. When your happiness rises and falls with your balance, you lose stability. Money becomes a master instead of a tool. You must practice emotional neutrality. Whether you have a great month or a difficult one, maintain the same mindset. Stay focused, stay steady. The most successful people don't panic during downturns, nor do they lose discipline during upturns. Their calm comes from knowing that financial results change, but disciplined action always brings improvement over time. To train your mind for control, build a mental habit of observation before reaction. When something unexpected happens, an emergency bill, a loss, or even a large gain, pause before you act. Give yourself time to process logically. Emotional decisions are expensive, calm decisions are profitable. Every time you take a breath before acting, you strengthen your mental control. Over time, this becomes second nature.
You stop reacting to money and start directing it. Your environment also shapes your financial mindset. If you constantly surround yourself with stress, pressure or comparison, your mind will never feel calm. You have to create a space, both physical and mental, that supports peace. Organize your bills, clean your workspace, limit exposure to negativity. Choose people who talk about growth, not gossip. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who complain about money, you will start to think like them. If you spend time with people who manage calmly and plan wisely, your thinking will adapt. Protect your mental environment as carefully as you protect your bank account. Another important part of calm money management is building patience. The modern world teaches instant gratification. You can buy now, pay later, invest now, expect results tomorrow. But real wealth grows slowly. You must train your mind to appreciate progress instead of speed. When you learn to wait, you make better choices. The person who rushes spends impulsively. The person who waits invests intentionally. Calm management is not laziness, it's discipline. It's knowing that long-term success always feels slow in the beginning. To manage money with calm, you must also manage your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself about money shapes your behavior. If you constantly say, "I'm bad with money" or "I'll never get ahead," your brain accepts those as truth. Change your language to yourself with authority and optimism. Say, "I'm learning to manage money wisely," or "I'm building control every day." Words become habits, and habits shape destiny. Positive financial affirmations are not empty. They are training for your subconscious. When your self-talk becomes empowering, your decisions follow the same pattern. Calm also comes from simplicity. The more complicated your finances are, the more anxious you feel. You don't need 20 accounts, complex investments, or endless budgets. Simplify your system. Have one main account for income, one for bills, one for savings. Keep things clear. Complexity creates confusion, and confusion leads to stress. Simplicity gives your mind space to breathe. When you can see your entire financial picture in one glance, calm becomes natural. One of the best ways to train your mind for calm is through regular reflection. Set time each week to review your finances, not to panic, but to think. Ask yourself questions like, what worked well this week? Where did I act impulsively? What can I improve next time? Reflection is how you turn experience into wisdom. You can't control the past, but you can learn from it. Calm management is built on awareness, not avoidance. Another aspect of mental control is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance. When you focus on what you already have, your anxiety drops. Many people feel constant financial stress, not because they lack money, but because they focus only on what they don't have. Gratitude trains the brain to feel safe, even during financial uncertainty. When you feel safe, you make rational decisions. When you feel desperate, you make poor ones. Every day, take a few moments to appreciate the stability, opportunities, and progress you already possess. Gratitude brings peace, and peace supports control. Your relationship with money also depends on how you handle discomfort. Sometimes you'll need to make tough choices, cutting back on expenses, saying no to unnecessary spending, delaying gratification. Calm management means accepting discomfort without fear. You don't resist discipline, you embrace it. Most people associate control with restriction, but real control brings freedom. When you choose what to do with your money instead of reacting to every urge, you feel lighter. The calm doesn't come from what you earn, it comes from what you master. You must also learn to manage financial uncertainty with logic, not emotion. Life will always bring unexpected turns, a job change, market shifts, medical expenses. Panic never helps. Calmness gives you time to think. When you face uncertainty, go back to principles, reduce waste, protect essentials, review options, and plan forward. A calm mind finds solutions that a stressed mind overlooks. Your ability to stay centered during challenges is what defines real mastery. Visualization is another technique to train your mind for calm control. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself as the kind of person who manages money confidently. Picture yourself reviewing finances calmly, saving steadily, investing wisely, and living with balance. This mental rehearsal rewires your brain to act accordingly. The mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Visualization prepares you emotionally before real situations appear. When you've seen yourself handle finances calmly in your mind, you'll do it naturally in reality. A calm money mindset also requires boundaries. Boundaries protect your focus. Learn to say no to lending money out of guilt, to unnecessary purchases driven by trends, or to people who pressure you financially. Boundaries create peace. Without them you become drained, anxious and resentful. When you set clear limits, you send a message to your subconscious: my energy and resources are valuable. That belief strengthens your confidence. You can also strengthen calm through consistent routines that stabilize your mindset. Start your day with a few minutes of silence before you check your phone or bills. Remind yourself that you are capable and in control. Create a ritual around managing money. Light music, a notebook, and a few minutes of focus. This turns what was once stressful into something empowering. The brain associates familiar routines with safety. When you make financial check-ins part of your calm routine, your nervous system stays relaxed, even when dealing with numbers. Avoid comparing your financial journey to others. Comparison is poison to calmness. Everyone's timeline is different. When you compare, you lose focus on your own progress and invite unnecessary stress. Control means staying in your own lane. Measure yourself only by who you were last month, not by what someone else has achieved. Peaceful financial management grows from self-respect, not competition. You also need to practice financial mindfulness in your daily decisions. Before spending, pause and ask, does this align with my goals? Will I still feel good about this tomorrow? This small moment of mindfulness breaks the cycle of impulsive behavior. It gives you time to think, to breathe, to choose. Mindfulness turns your spending into an act of awareness, not reaction. Every mindful choice builds your confidence and reduces stress. Sleep, health, and mental rest also affect your ability to manage money calmly. A tired or unhealthy mind makes poor decisions. If you're exhausted, stressed, or anxious, even simple financial tasks can feel overwhelming. Take care of your body as much as your bank account. Eat well, sleep deeply, move your body. A clear mind makes clear financial choices. Self-care is financial care, because you are the decision maker behind every transaction. To build long-term calm, keep a financial gratitude journal. Each week, write down what went right with your money. Maybe you saved a little more, avoided an unnecessary purchase, or learned something new. These small wins train your mind to notice progress instead of problems. Focusing on wins increases confidence, and confidence brings calm. Most people only focus on mistakes. You must train your mind to see success, too. Finally, realize that calm and control are skills, not personality traits. You're not born good with money. You become good at it through awareness and repetition. Every calm financial choice rewires your brain to respond better next time. Every time you face a challenge without panic, you strengthen your inner stability. This growth is invisible at first, but over time it changes everything. Managing money with calm and control means living free from constant financial fear. It means making choices with intention, not impulse. It means trusting your plan and your discipline, instead of chasing quick fixes. When your mind is steady, your money becomes steady. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control yourself. And when you master your thoughts, money naturally follows your direction. Calm isn't weakness. Calm is power. It's the quiet strength that turns confusion into clarity, chaos into order, and income into peace. That is the essence of real financial mastery.
Chapter 6. Set up automatic actions that grow your wealth silently. Wealth grows quietly when you design systems that do the work for you. Real financial progress is not built through constant effort. It's built through intelligent automation. When you rely only on willpower, your results fluctuate. But when you create automatic actions that run without emotional interference, your money grows consistently. Wealth doesn't need noise. It doesn't need endless excitement. It needs structure that works silently behind the scenes while you live your life. The key is to set up systems once and allow them to build momentum over time. The first step to building silent growth is understanding the power of consistency. Every time you make a financial decision manually, you give your emotions a chance to interfere. One day you feel motivated to save, the next you're tempted to spend. But automation removes that choice. It ensures your actions match your goals, not your moods. When your savings, investments and bills move automatically, you stay disciplined without even thinking about it. The mind rests, the system works, and the results compound. To begin, define your financial priorities clearly. You can't automate what you haven't decided. Ask yourself, what matters most right now? Building an emergency fund, paying off debt, investing for the future. Choose one or two core goals to focus on. Automation works best when it's simple and specific. Once your goals are defined, you can build automated paths that direct your income toward them. The clearer your vision, the easier the system operates. Now, start with the foundation, automated saving. Every time money enters your account, a fixed percentage should immediately move to a separate savings or investment account. It doesn't matter if it's 5% or 50%. What matters is that it happens automatically. The moment money arrives, it leaves for a better purpose. This single habit turns your income into a growth engine. You don't wait to see what's left over, you pay your future first. Over months and years, these small automatic transfers become the foundation of your wealth. Once saving is automated, extend the system to investment. Choose platforms that allow regular, automatic contributions to your investment accounts. You don't need to time the market or study charts every day. Automatic investing, often called dollar cost averaging, builds wealth silently by buying consistently, regardless of market conditions. This reduces emotional decision-making and ensures that growth happens steadily. The markets rise and fall, but your contributions stay constant. That discipline outperforms impulsive reactions every time. Next, automate your bill payment. Late payments create unnecessary stress and damage your credibility. Set up automatic payments for essential bills like rent, utilities, and loans. When your obligations are handled without delay, your financial mind stays free from worry. You no longer waste time remembering due dates or fearing penalties. Automation protects your peace of mind and keeps your focus on growth, not correction. Debt repayment can also become part of your silent system. Many people carry debt not because they can't pay it, but because they lack consistency. Create automatic payments above the minimum amount each month. The payment should leave your account as soon as your income arrives, just like a bill. Over time, this small adjustment saves you interest and shortens your payoff timeline. The best part is, once it's automated, you stop thinking about it. You just live your life while your system eliminates debt quietly, in the background. Automation also works for future goals like travel, education, or home ownership. Create separate accounts for each goal and assign automatic transfers to them. Label these accounts clearly. When you name a goal, it becomes tangible. Watching each one grow little by little gives you motivation to stay on course. This process turns long-term dreams into measurable progress. It also prevents accidental spending because your money has already been assigned a purpose. To make your automation strong,
Align it with your pay cycle. Every time you receive income, your system should trigger instantly. That's how you build momentum. If you wait to automate later in the month, emotions and temptations can interfere. Immediate action builds consistency, and consistency builds control. The goal is to design your financial flow so that every dollar knows exactly where to go the moment it arrives. You can also automate your financial education. Subscribe to credible newsletters, podcasts, or resources that deliver short insights each week. Knowledge compounds just like money. The more you learn automatically, the more confident you become in managing your systems. Education doesn't have to be intense, it just needs to be consistent. A few minutes of new understanding every week creates smarter decisions for years. An overlooked part of automation is protection. Set up automatic contributions to insurance or emergency funds. These systems guard your progress against unexpected events. Without safety nets, one emergency can erase years of effort. When protection is automated, you stop worrying about what if. You know you're covered, and that calm allows you to focus on growth. Now, let's talk about the mindset behind silent wealth. Many people crave visible progress. They want fast results, dramatic changes, and instant satisfaction. But real wealth rarely looks exciting. It grows quietly, slowly, and steadily. Automation teaches humility. It reminds you that greatness is built through small, consistent actions, repeated over time. You may not feel the impact week to week, but years later, the results speak loudly. Silent progress is the most powerful kind. It happens when no one is watching, not even you. One powerful habit that complements automation is review. Set a reminder once every month or quarter to check your system. Make sure transfers are running smoothly, accounts are healthy, and goals are still relevant. Adjust when necessary, but don't interfere constantly. Think of it like tending a well-built machine. Observe, fine-tune, and let it work. Constant interference destroys rhythm. Gentle observation strengthens it. Automation can also extend to generosity. If giving or donating is part of your values, schedule automatic contributions to causes you believe in. This ensures that generosity is consistent, not occasional. Giving quietly and consistently reinforces a mindset of abundance. It reminds you that money is meant to flow to you, through you, and beyond you. That flow keeps your relationship with money healthy and purposeful. Technology makes automation easier than ever. Use budgeting apps that automatically categorize spending, track patterns, and show where your money flows. Use online banking tools to set rules like transferring any balance above a certain amount into savings. Use investment platforms that reinvest dividends automatically. Every tool you use becomes an assistant working silently for your success. The key is to build once and let technology handle repetition. Automation also helps you fight emotional fatigue. Managing money manually every day wears you down. It creates decision fatigue, and tired people make poor choices. When your system runs automatically, you save mental energy for creativity, relationships, and growth. You stop obsessing over every financial move because the system already follows your plan. Freedom doesn't come from controlling every detail. It comes from designing a process you can trust. One of the greatest benefits of automation is that it builds self-respect. When your actions align with your goals, without effort, you begin to trust yourself more. Each automatic transfer, each on-time payment, each investment contribution tells your mind, I am responsible, I am in control. That belief is powerful. It changes the way you carry yourself and the way you handle opportunities. Confidence grows quietly, just like your wealth. Another advantage is that automation frees you from emotional highs and lows. You no longer feel guilty when you forget to save or anxious when expenses appear. The system handles it. That stability allows you to live in peace, knowing progress is happening, regardless of your mood. The most successful people don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Motivation fades, automation endures. Silent systems also prepare you for scaling. When you earn more, you don't have to rebuild your habits from scratch. You simply adjust percentages, not behavior. That's how people go from small income to large wealth. They already have structures in place before the growth happens. You can't manage abundance with chaos. Automation ensures that no matter how big your income grows, your control grows with it. Still, automation is not about ignoring your finances completely. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary decisions, so you can focus on strategy. You must still review, learn, and adjust periodically. Think of automation as the engine that runs your vehicle. You still steer, but you don't need to push it every mile. You become the overseer instead of the worker. There's also beauty in quiet progress. While others chase trends or stress over short-term results, you sleep knowing your systems are building your future. Every automatic deposit, every recurring investment, every reinvested return compounds silently. You wake up months later to realize your wealth has grown, not through struggle but through design. That's a different kind of power, the power of discipline done once and left to work. The habit of setting up automatic actions trains your mind for long-term thinking. It forces you to act as your future self, not your current one. Each system you build says, I am planning for tomorrow. That mindset separates those who live paycheck to paycheck from those who build financial freedom. Wealth is never an accident. It's always the result of deliberate systems created by someone who thought ahead. In time, your automatic systems become part of your identity. You no longer worry about whether you'll save or invest this month. It just happens. You no longer debate with yourself about paying bills. You already set it up. That peace of mind is worth more than any short-term excitement. It's the kind of quiet control that creates lasting security. The secret is to start small but start today. Don't wait for perfect plans or higher income. Automate what you can now, even if it's a small percentage. Consistency beats perfection. Over the years, small automated actions become massive results. That's the beauty of silent growth. It rewards patience more than speed. In the end, automation is not about technology. It's about discipline expressed through design. It's about creating systems that honor your goals without demanding your constant attention. When your wealth grows silently, you gain something even more valuable than money: peace of mind. You no longer live in reaction. You live in rhythm. You no longer hope for success. You build it quietly, confidently, and automatically. That's how real wealth is created, silently, steadily, and on purpose.
Chapter 7. Make every expense strengthen your future, not weaken it. Every dollar you spend is either building your future or borrowing from it. The way you treat your expenses determines whether money becomes your ally or your enemy. Most people never stop to think about how their spending shapes their life years from now. They only ask, can I afford it right now? Instead of asking, will this make my life stronger or weaker? Real financial mastery begins when you learn to turn every expense into a decision that serves your long-term growth. That shift changes how you see money, value, and yourself. When you start viewing spending as investment, you naturally become more intentional. You stop spending just to feel better and start spending to become better. Every purchase carries energy. It either adds strength or drains it. The first step is awareness. Each time you reach for your wallet or click buy, pause for a second and ask one question. Does this expense move me closer to stability, skill, or peace? That moment of awareness is powerful. It's not about denying yourself pleasures. It's about directing your choices toward purpose. Your relationship with money reveals your priorities. When you spend without thought, you trade your future for a moment of relief. But when you spend with purpose, you transform ordinary transactions into tools for growth. Buying books, courses, or tools that expand your knowledge makes you more valuable. Investing in good health, exercise, or rest strengthens your energy to earn more. Even spending on experiences that bring meaning or deepen relationships adds value when done consciously. The difference is not in the amount spent, but in the reason behind it. You can start shaping your spending by creating categories of empowerment and depletion. Empowering expenses include anything that improves your well-being, skills, or opportunity. Depleting expenses are those that leave you with regret, clutter, or debt. Over time, the goal is to reduce depletion and increase empowerment. When your daily choices shift toward growth, your entire financial trajectory changes without feeling forced. You're not restricting, you're refining. You are simply choosing progress over impulse. The truth is, every expense teaches you something. When you review your past spending, you're looking at a mirror of your mindset. If your expenses are filled with random, unplanned purchases, it's a sign that emotions are running the show. If they reflect organization and purpose, it means you've developed control. Money follows clarity, and clarity begins with reflection. Once a month, review where your money went and ask, did this make me stronger or weaker? That question alone can transform the way you live. It's also important to understand that small, consistent waste becomes large weakness. People often ignore small purchases because they seem harmless, but small leaks sink big ship. The daily coffee, the unused subscription, the casual online orders, they seem insignificant in isolation, but together they create invisible financial pressure. The goal is not to cut joy, it's to align spending with what truly matters. If something brings genuine joy or progress, keep it. If it only fills time or emotion, question it. Your future deserves your awareness. Smart spending is not about living cheaply, it's about living wisely. There's a big difference between being frugal and being strategic. Frugality often focuses on cutting costs for the sake of saving, but strategy focuses on increasing value for every dollar spent. You could buy a cheap item that breaks in months, or you could spend more once on something that lasts for years. The smart spender always thinks in terms of value per use. Every dollar should have a purpose and a return, even if that return is peace, health, or efficiency. You must also train your mind to see delayed benefit. The world is built on instant satisfaction. Buy now, feel good now, deal with consequences later. But your future self needs you to think differently. Ask how each expense will affect you 6 months or a year from now. Will it make you stronger, freer, or more capable? Or will it leave you burdened, regretful, and stuck? This small mental exercise rewires your brain to think in terms of growth, not gratification. When your mind learns to look beyond the present, your finances naturally strengthen. One of the most practical ways to make expenses strengthen your future is to assign each one a role. For example, rent or housing should provide safety and focus, not pressure. Food should fuel your energy, not your stress. Education should increase your earning power, not just consume your time. Entertainment should recharge your mind, not distract you from your goals. When you connect meaning to money, you remove waste. You no longer spend carelessly because each dollar has a defined purpose. It's also wise to invest in tools that help you manage and grow your finances. Apps, financial tracking software, or even a simple spreadsheet can turn guesswork into data. When you can see where your money goes, you can control where it grows. Awareness creates discipline naturally. Once you know that your spending supports your future, you feel proud instead of guilty. That pride builds confidence, and confidence builds progress. Another part of strengthening your financial future through expenses is learning to prioritize necessity over vanity. Many people spend to look successful instead of to become successful. They buy to impress,
not to improve. But real power doesn't need to show off. It builds quietly. When you spend for appearance, you feed insecurity. When you spend for growth, you feed potential. Every choice you make either grows your worth or dilutes it. The person who learns to choose long-term gain over short-term image becomes unstoppable. Financial strength also grows when you learn the art of substitution. Instead of cutting pleasures entirely, replace them with smarter alternatives. If you love dining out, do it intentionally, once a week instead of daily. If you enjoy fashion, buy timeless pieces instead of fast trends. Substitution keeps life enjoyable without weakening your future. It's not sacrifice, it's balance. You're not taking away comfort, you're building control. You should also develop the habit of pre-planning your major expenses. Spontaneous large purchases often lead to regret. When you plan ahead, you give yourself time to evaluate, research and decide with logic instead of emotion. Waiting before buying is not hesitation, it's mastery. The strongest financial minds act slowly and think deeply. They make moves only when they align with their vision. Your calm evaluation is your best defense against financial mistakes. There's an emotional transformation that happens when you start spending with purpose. You begin to feel proud of where your money goes. You stop hiding from your bank statements. You start seeing progress instead of problems. Your self-image improves because you know your actions are aligned with your goals. That quiet confidence spreads into every part of your life. You carry yourself differently when you know you're not wasting your own potential. Every expense should either build security, increase opportunity, or protect freedom. If it doesn't fit into one of those categories, reconsider. Security comes from stability, covering essentials and preparing for emergencies. Opportunity comes from education, tools and growth. Freedom comes from choices that reduce dependency and debt. When your expenses serve these three pillars, your financial life strengthens naturally. You no longer wonder where your money went because every dollar had a job that served your vision. You must also understand the emotional triggers that cause impulsive spending. Stress, boredom, loneliness, and comparison are the most common. When you feel these emotions, your mind searches for quick relief, and spending becomes the outlet. The way to break this cycle is to replace reaction with reflection. When you feel the urge to buy something unnecessary, pause and identify the emotion behind it. Are you really buying the item, or are you buying temporary relief? Awareness turns impulse into insight. Spending should also reflect your values. If you say you value health, but your spending doesn't reflect, there's a disconnect. If you claim family is your priority, but your money never supports shared experiences or stability, there's imbalance. Money is a mirror that reflects your truth. Align your spending with what matters most. When your financial actions match your values, life feels coherent and meaningful. That alignment builds long-term satisfaction, not fleeting pleasure. To make expenses work for your future, use the principle of replacement. Every time you spend on something that adds value, find one wasteful expense to remove. For example, if you buy a course that improves your career, cancel a subscription that adds no meaning. This keeps your financial flow balanced. Growth replaces waste. It's a simple but powerful way to make sure every dollar supports your advancement instead of slowing it down. Another technique is intentional forecasting. Before each month begins, estimate your upcoming expenses and decide how they'll serve you. This prevents surprise spending and builds accountability. When you know what's coming, you control it. When you ignore it, it controls you. Forecasting trains your brain to think like a strategist. It turns chaos into a plan. You no longer drift, you direct. Making every expense strengthen your future also means saying no to comparison. Many people lose financial control trying to keep up with others. They buy what others buy, travel where others travel, and measure success through appearances. Comparison steals peace and replaces confidence with insecurity. The calm spender focuses only on their path. Your journey has its own pace. Spend according to your reality, not someone else's illusion. That self-respect is a form of wealth in itself. Finally, Remember that progress doesn't require perfection. You will still make unnecessary purchases at times, and that's okay. Growth is about awareness, not guilt. Each month, strive to make slightly better decisions than before. The goal is gradual strength, not instant change. Over time, your habits evolve naturally. You stop seeing money as something to escape or chase. It becomes something you manage with clarity and purpose. When you reach that stage, spending transforms from stress into strategy. You no longer feel anxious about money, because you know every dollar you spend moves your life forward. You start to see money as a quiet partner, not a burden. Your future grows stronger, because you built it one thoughtful expense at a time. Wealth is not only what you keep, it's how wisely you use what you have. Every purchase is a vote for the kind of life you want to build. Choose strength over weakness, purpose over impulse, and direction over distraction. When you do, your financial life stops draining you and starts empowering you. That's when you truly begin to master the flow of your money and shape a future that supports your peace, progress, and freedom.
Chapter 8. Use money to buy time, growth, and freedom, not things. Money was never meant to be a tool for owning things. It was meant to be a tool for owning your life. Every dollar you earn is a piece of your time, your energy, your effort, and your dreams. When you trade it for objects that fade, you lose that time forever. But when you use money to buy back time, invest in growth, and build freedom, you expand your life instead of shrinking it. The difference lies not in how much you earn, but in how you decide to spend it. The world teaches you to use money to look rich, but the wise use money to feel free. There's a quiet power in choosing purpose over possession. You don't need to fill your home with things to feel worthy. You need to fill your life with moments, knowledge, and peace that cannot be taken away. Using money for growth and freedom changes the way you live. It shifts you from chasing comfort to building capacity. You stop asking, "What can I buy?" and start asking, "What can this do for my future?" When you use money to buy time, you take back control of your life. Most people work endlessly, spending every dollar they earn on more commitments that demand even more work. It becomes an exhausting cycle. Earn, spend, repeat. But time is the real luxury. The person who can take a slow morning, spend an afternoon with family, or work on something they love, is wealthier than someone surrounded by expensive things, but trapped by stress. Money should buy you freedom from constant urgency. It should give you space to think, rest, and create. Start by identifying the things that consume your time, but don't add value. Maybe it's chores, distractions, or constant errands. Then ask yourself if you can use money to remove or simplify them. Hiring help, automating tasks, or investing in tools that save hours each week is not wasteful. It's wise. When you free time, you free your mind. You gain the space to focus on what truly matters: your goals, your health, your relationships, your peace. Every dollar you spend freeing time is an investment in quality of life. Next, use money to buy growth. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intention. Every skill you learn, every course you take, every experience that expands your understanding multiplies your value. Growth makes your future stronger and your opportunities bigger. Spending on growth is never a loss because it pays you back in knowledge, confidence, and new possibilities. People who invest in growth eventually stop chasing money because their skills start attracting it. That's how you build wealth that lasts longer than any possession. When you shift your mindset toward growth, you also stop fearing money. It's no longer something that controls you. It becomes something that supports your evolution. You begin to ask, how can I use this income to become better, wiser, freer? That simple question turns every paycheck into potential. You realize that true success is not owning more things, it's owning more capability. Growth doesn't clutter your life,
it expands it. Every book, class, or mentor you pay for stretches your thinking and strengthens your foundation. Freedom is the third and most important goal of wealth. Freedom is the ability to choose how you live without fear or obligation controlling you. It's not about quitting work, it's about working because you want to, not because you have to. Using money to buy freedom means paying off debt, building savings, and creating stability. It means saying no to the pressure of impressing others. Freedom grows when you stop trading peace for appearance. You stop caring about what people think and start caring about how you feel. That's when money finally serves you instead of enslaving you. To buy freedom, start small. Build a financial cushion that gives you breathing room. The moment you have savings that can carry you for a few months, your mind relaxes. You no longer feel desperate or trapped. From there, build investments that generate passive income. The goal isn't just security, it's choice. Every bit of freedom you earn gives you the ability to live more authentically. Freedom is the highest form of wealth because it gives you back your time, your energy, and your focus. To live this way, you must also challenge your environment. Society constantly tells you to measure success by possessions. Every advertisement whispers that happiness is something you can buy. But happiness built on consumption is fragile. It fades the moment the novelty disappears. The truth is, happiness comes from growth and contribution. It comes from mastering your time, not wasting it. When you use money to buy experiences, skills, and freedom, you build memories and meaning that no one can take away. Ask yourself what truly matters to you. Maybe it's having more time with your children, starting your own business, traveling, or learning something new. Then align your money with those priorities. Stop letting it flow toward things that only impress others. Redirect it toward what expands your life. A simple question to ask before any purchase: will this make my life richer, or just my surroundings? The answer tells you everything you need to know. Buying time also means simplifying your life. When you own less, you spend less time maintaining, cleaning, and organizing. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. The fewer unnecessary things you have, the more energy you have to focus on progress. Every object you don't need is a distraction. Every dollar you save by avoiding excess is a dollar you can redirect toward freedom. Money can also buy emotional space. Many people stay stuck in toxic jobs or relationships because they're financially dependent. Building financial independence gives you the courage to make better choices. It gives you the power to walk away from situations that don't serve your well-being. Freedom is not just financial, it's emotional and mental. Money becomes meaningful when it supports your peace of mind. When you use money to buy growth, don't limit it to education. Growth includes health, creativity, and experiences that expand perspective. Spending on travel that opens your mind, hobbies that develop patience, or coaching that strengthens discipline. All of these create internal wealth. The richer your mind becomes, the more valuable your life feels. Growth multiplies what money alone cannot buy. Confidence, wisdom, and fulfillment. Using money for time, growth, and freedom also demands patience. The results don't show up instantly. You might not see change after a month or two, but year after year, the difference becomes undeniable. Your finances stabilize, your confidence rises, and your stress declines. You move from chasing opportunities to creating them. Silent, consistent redirection of money builds the kind of life most people only dream about. You must also develop boundaries to protect this mindset. The world will always tempt you with the next gadget, luxury, or lifestyle upgrade. There will always be pressure to keep up. The discipline to say no is what keeps you free. Every time you refuse unnecessary spending, you say yes to your future. That quiet decision is where true power lives. To make this practical, create 3 questions to guide your spending. First, will this give me more time? Second, will this help me grow? Third, will this increase my freedom? If the answer is no to all 3, it's not worth your money. This simple filter turns random spending into intentional living. It keeps your focus sharp and your finances strong. Freedom also grows when you use money to remove fear. Build systems that protect your family, your income, and your peace of mind. Buy insurance, create emergency funds, and invest in skills that make you adaptable. These aren't just financial moves, they're emotional safety nets. The more prepared you are, the less you fear uncertainty. Preparation is one of the highest forms of self-respect. As you grow, remember that time is the one thing you can never earn back. Every hour you waste chasing temporary comfort could have been used to build something lasting. Use money to give yourself back those hours. Outsource tasks that drain you. Automate where you can. Design your days around creation and connection, not constant stress. That's what true wealth feels like. A calm life built by deliberate design. You'll notice something shift when you start living this way. Your happiness becomes less dependent on things. You begin to find joy in freedom, peace in growth, and fulfillment in time well spent. The noise of comparison fades. You stop asking, what do I own? And start asking, who am I becoming? That question leads to real success, the kind that money can support but never define. When you master this mindset, you discover that money was never the goal. It was always the means. The goal is to live fully, to have enough time to create, enough growth to stay alive inside, and enough freedom to choose your path. Things can break, trends can fade, but freedom endures. Growth compounds. Time is irreplaceable. So use your money wisely. Spend it on what makes you more capable, not more cluttered. Invest it in what expands you, not what limits you. Let every financial decision move you closer to peace, purpose, and independence. The person who uses money to buy things may look rich, but the person who uses money to buy time, growth, and freedom is truly wealthy. That's the kind of wealth that never fades. It grows quietly, steadily, and deeply inside you, shaping a life that feels rich in every way that matters.
Chapter 9. Design a life where money follows your purpose naturally. Most people spend their entire lives chasing money, hoping that one day it will give them peace, happiness, and meaning. But the truth is, money is not meant to be chased. It's meant to be attracted. It follows those who live with purpose, direction, and clarity. When you align your actions with what truly matters to you, money begins to flow naturally toward your life. It becomes a byproduct of value, not the main pursuit. Designing a life where money follows your purpose begins with one question: what are you here to do that creates real value for others and meaning for yourself? Purpose is the foundation of effortless wealth. It's the fuel that keeps you consistent, even when results are slow. It's the reason you wake up with energy and go to sleep with peace. When your work reflects who you are and what you believe in, you no longer drag yourself through the day. You move with intention. People can feel that energy. They're drawn to it, and they reward it. Money follows enthusiasm, authenticity, and service. When you're living on purpose, your presence itself becomes valuable. To design a purpose-driven life, you must first understand yourself deeply. Strip away the noise of what society tells you to be. Forget what others expect and look within. What are your natural strengths? What activities make you lose track of time? What problems do you feel compelled to solve? The answers to these questions reveal your true direction. Purpose doesn't come from luck, it comes from awareness. The more honest you are about what fulfills you, the clearer your path becomes. Once you discover your purpose, you must design your life around it intentionally. Many people know what they love, but continue to live in systems that suffocate that love. They fill their time with obligations that don't align with who they are. You can't live a purposeful life on accidental schedules. You must structure your days to prioritize what matters. If your goal is to teach, create time for teaching. If your passion is building, create time for building. When your daily life supports your deeper mission, your energy multiplies. That energy attracts opportunity. Money naturally follows those who create impact. When you serve others with genuine care, you become irreplaceable. The world rewards contribution. Every time you solve a real problem, bring clarity to confusion, or make someone's life better, you plant seeds of wealth. You might not see immediate returns, but over time those seeds grow into financial stability. The greatest mistake people make is focusing on what they can get before focusing on what they can give. Giving always comes first. Value always comes before reward. The second key to attracting money through purpose is consistency. Purpose without action is just a dream. You must show up for your vision, even when no one notices. The early stages of purpose-driven living often feel lonely. You might question if it's worth it, but keep going. The world begins to notice those who persist. Your consistency builds credibility, and credibility builds income. Money doesn't chase talent, it chases reliability. When people know they can depend on you, they trust you, and trust is the foundation of all wealth. You also need to redefine what success means to you. Society's version of success is external. Titles, possessions, and recognition. Real success is internal. Peace, fulfillment, and contribution. When you chase status, you often lose yourself, but when you focus on doing work that matters, success starts to chase you. You attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right income. Success stops being something you pursue and becomes something you live. To design this kind of life, you must align your habits with your values. Every decision you make, how you spend your time, what you read, who you associate with, either supports or weakens your purpose. If your environment doesn't reflect your goals, it will slowly drain your energy. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who believe in integrity, and who push you toward your highest potential. The right environment creates momentum, and momentum attracts prosperity. It's also crucial to manage fear. Purpose often demands risk, leaving a job, starting something new, facing uncertainty. Fear tells you to stay safe, but safety rarely leads to growth. The people who build meaningful lives aren't fearless, they just act despite fear. Each time you take a step toward your purpose, even if it's uncomfortable, you strengthen your confidence. Courage compounds. The more you follow your inner direction, the quieter fear becomes. When you live on purpose, you stop competing and start creating. Competition is rooted in scarcity, the belief that there's not enough for everyone. Creation is rooted in abundance, the belief that there's always room for new value. The moment you start creating instead of comparing, you separate yourself from the crowd. You no longer chase trends, you set them. You no longer wait for opportunities, you make them. And when you create something that genuinely helps people, money finds its way to you naturally. One powerful principle of purpose-driven wealth is authenticity. People are drawn to realness in a world full of pretense. When you speak truthfully, act sincerely, and stand for something meaningful, you build emotional wealth that often translates into financial reward. Customers, clients, and communities all seek trust. When your purpose is authentic, trust follows, and with trust, prosperity always arrives.
You also need to understand the role of patience. Purpose-driven wealth grows differently than quick success. It builds gradually, layer by layer, with integrity and depth. It may take time for your purpose to generate income, but don't rush it. Speed is the enemy of sustainability. Focus on getting better, not faster. The more mastery you build, the more magnetism you gain. Eventually money begins to find you because excellence is always noticed. Living in alignment with your purpose doesn't mean rejecting material wealth. It means redefining its role. Money becomes a tool for expansion. It allows you to reach more people, create bigger impact, and enjoy a freer life. When purpose and profit align, you experience balance. You earn not out of desperation, but out of creation. Every dollar becomes an extension of your mission, and every transaction becomes a reflection of your integrity. To make this real, start small. Begin aligning your current work with your purpose, even in small ways. If your purpose is to inspire, bring inspiration into your daily interactions. If it's to improve something in your current environment. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Purpose grows through action, not waiting. Over time, the gap between what you do and what you love will close, and money will begin to flow more naturally through that alignment. A purpose-driven life also requires discipline. Passion gives you the spark, but discipline keeps the fire alive. There will be days when motivation fades, when results feel distant. On those days, routine saves you. Purpose is not about constant excitement, it's about consistent dedication. The stronger your discipline, the more predictable your growth, and predictability in effort leads to predictability in income. Money also follows gratitude. When you're thankful for what you already have, you stop operating from scarcity. Gratitude creates a mindset of sufficiency. You recognize that you already possess value, skills, and opportunity. That mindset attracts more. Scarcity repels abundance. Gratitude invites it. Be grateful for your progress, your lessons, and even your challenges. They're all part of your growth. It's also essential to find harmony between ambition and contentment. Purpose-driven wealth doesn't come from constant striving. It comes from balanced pursuit. Work hard, but don't lose yourself. Push forward, but also rest. Money follows those who are grounded, not frantic. A peaceful mind makes wiser decisions than an anxious one. When you operate from peace, opportunities reveal themselves effortlessly. As your purpose matures, focus on multiplying impact. The more people you help, the more value you create, and the more wealth flows back. Think about systems that extend your reach: mentorship, digital tools, collaborations, or scalable services. The goal isn't just to make money, it's to build something that outlives you. Legacy is the highest level of wealth, and it's built on purpose that serves others long after you're gone. Never forget that money is a reflection of the energy you give to the world. When your energy comes from service, your rewards grow naturally. You don't need to force opportunities, they start showing up. You attract the right clients, partners, and investors because your purpose radiates clarity. The world doesn't reward confusion, it rewards direction. When you know who you are and where you're going, people trust you to lead. This is the ultimate freedom, to live each day doing what you love, to create work that matters, and to know that money supports your mission, rather than distracting from it. That's when wealth becomes peaceful. It stops being a chase, and becomes a flow. You wake up fulfilled, you work with passion, and you end each day knowing your life has meaning. That's not just success, it's alignment. When you design your life around purpose, you're no longer driven by fear of lack. You operate from faith in abundance. You understand that money is not the goal, it's the result of living intentionally. You stop asking, how do I make more money? And start asking, how do I create more value? That one shift changes everything. It transforms your work, your relationships, and your peace of mind. In the end, a purpose-driven life is not about choosing between meaning and money. It's about uniting them. It's about building a life where what you do daily reflects who you are deeply, and the rewards flow as a natural consequence. When your heart and your work align, your life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a calling. And when you reach that level of clarity, money doesn't just follow you, it becomes your silent partner in building a life of impact, fulfillment, and lasting freedom.
Chapter 10. Master your cash flow and live like the owner, not the worker. Most people spend their lives working for money without ever realizing they could have money working for them. They wake up, trade hours for income, and go to sleep repeating the same routine, hoping that one day they'll earn enough to rest. But that day never comes, because they never learned to master cash flow. When you don't control how money moves through your life, it controls you. But the moment you understand how to direct it with intention, you stop being a worker for money and start being the owner of your life. Living like the owner means thinking beyond a paycheck. It means shifting from survival to strategy. A worker focuses on earning. An owner focuses on managing, multiplying, and maintaining stability. Ownership begins in the mind long before it shows up in your bank account. You can have a small income and still think like an owner if you understand flow. The goal is to become the architect of your financial system, not a participant trapped inside it. Cash flow mastery starts with one simple idea: know where your money goes. You can't control what you don't understand. Most people avoid tracking their money because it exposes their lack of discipline. But numbers don't judge, they tell the truth. The truth gives you power. When you know how much comes in, where it goes, and how much stays, you begin to see the patterns that shape your future. The key is awareness. Awareness brings order, and order brings control. The next step is to structure your flow like a business. Every successful company operates with clear categories: income, expenses, investments, and reserves. Your personal finances should follow the same system. Create separate accounts for different purposes. One for daily living, one for saving, one for growth, and one for freedom. This structure prevents chaos. You stop mixing essential money with optional spending. You begin to see yourself not as someone trying to survive the month, but as someone directing capital with clarity. When you master cash flow, you realize that income is not the problem. Management is. People earning 5 figures and people earning 6 figures often face the same stress because both lack control. The worker earns more and spends more. The owner earns and allocates. You must decide what percentage of your income goes to living, saving, investing, and giving. Once you define those percentages, automate them. That single step eliminates emotional spending and builds consistency. Owners rely on systems, not feelings. To think like an owner, you must learn to pay yourself first. Before you pay bills, before you buy anything, before you give to others, you must secure your own future. Set aside a portion of every paycheck for yourself. That money is not meant for pleasure today, it's meant for power tomorrow. This is how financial strength grows. Workers spend first and save what's left. Owners save first and spend what's left. That single decision determines whether you stay in control or live in reaction. As you refine your cash flow, study how to make your money multiply. Savings are good, but they're only the beginning. Money must circulate with purpose. When left idle, it loses value. But when directed into intelligent investments, whether stocks, real estate, or business, it grows. The goal is to create income streams that don't depend on your time. That's how ownership becomes real.
Every dollar you invest becomes a worker, and the more workers you have, the less you need to work yourself. This is how freedom begins, through systems that keep moving, even when you're resting. Owners also master expenses differently. They see every cost as an investment or a liability. If it produces value, teaches skills, or generates returns, it's an investment. If it creates debt, clutter, or distraction, it's a liability. The difference lies in intention. When you evaluate